Bear with me, just getting me breakfast going. Oh, everything you need to start the day right. Oh. Tell you what, I won't take a big mouthful of them first. Oh man, getting into it now. I've never seen the van this sort of pulled back. It's quite scary. It's one thing to do a job this huge on any vehicle you own. It's off the road for a while. It's not moving. Add on to that the fact that this is my legitimate home on wheels, and I live nomadically. Well, haven't this year at all, but usually live nomadically. To stop and be in one place and pull all of what makes your vehicle go out, and then embark on a conversion that you don't fully know if it's going to go right or not. Yeah, there's a extra little bit there on top of what's going on here. I am more invested and need this to work more than anything I've ever done on any vehicle. It's not even like I can put the old stuff back in. Like, that wiring will never go back in the way it was in. There is no going back. So yeah, if something goes catastrophically wrong here, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that's probably why I haven't took the time to think about it. Because it would just send me way down a spiral. Yeah, it should work. So today, God, I can't even list what I'm doing today. There is so much to get done. But first things first, I'm gonna get on to my breakfast because I'm bloody starving. Well, whoever thought about putting little bits of chocolate in mini Weetabix? Yeah, good on you. So the giant German Lego set continues, but at least now for the most part we've stopped pulling apart and going backwards and have started to now build the van back up. Although I'd put a few parts in the way just because I can't sit still, I've tried to leave the engine bay as clear as possible, as Emma was now here to start rinsing it down and getting it ready for its new paint job. She torn through the dirt and grime, gave it a quick sand back, and then a coat of red oxide primer was applied and left to go off. Did not pre-plan getting under here. Ow. Well, this is my office for a little while. Just got to reconnect the speed sensors and a few other little bits while I'm under here. The fuel tank sender wire and all that sort of jazz, and the rear loom that goes to the lights and rear speed sensors. It's all just about the speed sensors today. I really wish I'd have jet washed all this before I brought it in and took the engine out. That would have made things lots easier, but you know, we're basically at the end of the tearing down stuff, and it's now starting to, you know, the cogs have stopped going this way and have slowly started to go back that way now, which is nice. I found as well to not get too stressed. It's been great having these little things in, and I've just had a lot of podcasts on, and that's really just kept me, you know, when your mind sort of wanders a little bit and you start to question absolutely everything you're doing in life and that day. Yeah, it's good to just stop and take your subconscious mind somewhere. So I've been listening to a podcast called My Dad Wrote a Porno. Keeps the spirits up. I did want to get back onto the rear loom, but unfortunately last night I forgot to empty the waste tank, so it overflowed, and now there's a bit of a patch on the floor, which I've got the worst up, but you know, it's still very much there. Now this side, I was clever enough to mark up what's what. Passenger side, driver's side. The rear I didn't, I just cut it. So I don't know what's what. Yeah. What is this wire made of? I've never known anything like it. It's just impenetrable. You just, amuse yourselves. I'm in it. Now the floor had dried out enough, I moved to the back. Wow, spot of good news on the wire in front. This is where I cut the van's loom from the rear onto the rest of my van's loom. Now this is getting confusing. This is Amber's loom, this is donor van loom. That's where they go to the speed sensors and shit, and that's for the lights. And luckily, finally, the wiring colours all match up. So the speed sensors, left and right, are yellow and brown and white and brown. So I'll know I can coordinate the colours up and they'll be on the right wheels. So yeah, all I've really got to do is just join all of this back together and the rear lights are good to go. I was thinking to myself, this is the one bit on the wire inside. I was like, oh god, this is going to be a nightmare. I'm going to have to like buzz out all the lights, figure out what lights do what on this loom now, move them over to the newer one. But no, they've actually kept the colours the same. So I'll get the soldering iron. So I made my way through, joining each wire of the same colour. Then I moved on to the speed sensors, where I was a little more delicate with my soldering, as I was worried a big glob of solder would throw out the reading. Then the whole thing was wrapped up, tucked inside a weatherproof boot and hidden up in the chassis. Right, I'm just digging through the last of the loom, trying to get the odd clips that don't match up with this loom and swap them over. And also I'm just tracking down the electric windows, electric mirrors, and maybe the central locking, depends. I've been going through all of that dash loom and I'm like, okay, I can find the wires coming out of the doors. They then go across the front dash loom, and I'm like, where the hell do they go? There's got to be some way they get down to the fuse box. Then I found a plug that had nothing to plug into, just by where the dash cluster goes, and that had all the same corresponding colours of the wires, which are those and those. And sure enough, there's the plug. So now I just need to somehow take this out, or what I'm going to do, because it's easier, is cut this off, cut that off, and then solder my own wires in. Thinking about it, because unraveling all this just for the sake of wire, there's just not much point. Yeah, so it's taken a fair bit of head scratching and figuring out. And going off this is the old fuse box diagram, and then yeah, here you got power window passenger 25 amp, power window driver 25 amp. Below that is adjustable heated mirrors, and then you can start to basically break it all down. So you got 25 amp, 7.5, 7.5, 25, 25, 7, 7, 25, and then yeah, the mirrors 10. So then you know that is one wire I'm after. The black and yellow stripe one there is the other one, and the black with red line is my heated mirrors. So as long as I can sort of remember that and tap on new wires either end, there doesn't appear to be any relays. What else have we got on here? Rear fog lamp buzzer, no idea. Automatic transmission, don't need you anymore. Cough. But yeah, this is basically what I'm at tonight. Just going through all of this, pulling out what I need, double, triple checking, and then eventually I can start to compile all the wires. There's a big bucket over there, there's a big pile down there, and it's just freaking everywhere. Get it all piled up together, and then I can weigh this lot in, get rid of it. I chopped off the entire fuse box and fitted it into the vacant slot under the driver's seat. Then I pulled enough of the correct coloured wires back off the loom so I could join from the fuse box up through the dash and to the plug. I got both electric window wires, the heated mirrors, and a few extra wires of my own for lights and power sources, stuff like that. The central lock-in's on the old key, which I no longer need, so it's pretty pointless. I've just accepted the fact I've got to lock each door by hand, and that's not exactly a major issue. Once all the wires were taped together and ran through some conduit, I could fit it into the van and get it all soldered up. Last night was another late one, but by the end of it I'd got pretty much everything I wanted to do done. That new wiring loom I made was now in and all soldered up, and we even made headway on the engine bay's paint job. Oh, good morning. Just come back off the dog walk, and it is very muddy and miserable outside, so just got to get little man dried up. Oh, Mother Teresa, let's get that butt. No, this isn't a toy. Right, van. The bay was looking good. Arguably the best it's looked in all of its 18 years. I don't know about you, but I'm really not a fan of a luminous yellow, especially when it's got dribbles of grey paint like it was done by a 4-year-old. I almost went to fit the dashboard this morning, thinking all the wires are running and everything's good to go, but there was a few pretty major jobs I'd completely forgotten about. One was the gear stick and linkages, and 2, the Telma, which is the extra braking system, if you like. I couldn't figure out where this went, and I was like, oh god, what's going on? And I had to go back through, pull all the loom apart again. This is basically, goes into the braking, whatever you call that. Sure enough, there's the other side of the cable, and it actually goes inside this. So I'm going to have to take them out, disassemble that one, and reinsert them in the right pins, because obviously that tells the Telma when to kick in. I think that's to do with the speed, because when you drop below 5 miles an hour, the Telma lets go. Right, so black in you. This is exactly the kind of job I just did not want to do. The moment you get to these big, hefty, multi-pin plugs, they just make me nervous. But essentially they just had to go in the same holes as the old one. I had to remove the little weatherproofing bungs and click each one into its right hole. Now then, onto those gear linkages. In the previous video I found that the hole for these wasn't even stamped into the panel, so I was going to have to drill my own. And it's a pretty tight squeeze down there. I can't fit in my jigsaw or any sort of metal cutting equipment, so it was just my drill and a file. How the hell do they go on? Keep that still and fuck around. Oh. How? How do you even go in there? This is where I snap the gear stick. This is taking me a while. No, don't turn, just pop in. Yes! You on? I'm fully? Yes you are, you son of a bitch. Alright. Okay. Get around there, you brute. And you. And onto there. You lot can all bugger off. Stay down. Go on. Where there was once a sprint shift, there is now a manual. There we go. And now the dashboard can go on. But that threw up a challenge of its own. There was 2 polystyrene blocks behind the dash that I assume stop it moving around and rattling. And after weeks of storage in the trailer, these had managed to fall out. Could we find where they fitted properly? No. Eventually we got there, meaning we can now bring the dashboard in and go for the refit. It was only once back in we realised the dash probably could have done with a clean. It had some weird substance on it.
Did you feel it?
No, it's I think polish. Polished it open.
Never tried.
It's just got in the back there.
But polish, or P, aside, the dash was now back in and the cab was beginning to look like, well, a cab again. With that now in, it set the wheels in motion to build the rest of the cab back up, starting with the passenger seat plinth that have bolts with the stupidest thread ever.
No.
The next day, after a long trip in Lenny to Worcestershire, I had a new steering rack.
So last week, after a lot of faff, I refitted the old steering rack, readjusted it up, and was just going to call it a day and hope it worked out. But it has been in the back of my mind that that's probably a foolish move, and while it's in this stage, this is the best time to do it. And then a lovely Patreon of mine, Sam, got in touch, who works in a Motor Factors. He said, I can get you a Sprinter steering rack in and I'll do you a good price. It's not going to cost you 500 quid. And the price he got this at was under half the price I was thinking I was going to get. So thank you very much, Sam. That was an absolute solid, mate. Cheers. It's a reconditioned unit, and most of them are these days. You give your one and then you get a reconditioned one back. So yeah, I can put this on, and I mean, I don't know how many times I've took steering racks off now, but I can put this on and put it all to bed. That's now done.
I won't show you fitting yet another steering rack, but with all that practice last time, this one went in without a hitch.
Gave these a little trial fit. These are the 16-inch wheels off the Dreamer van. That fits them quite nice. It's supposed to. Yeah, I'm sort of in two minds whether to go up a size, because with these being 16s, that allows me then to get all terrains. But I do have some nice new Michelin Agilis on all the wheels of my 15s, and I've only just managed to afford to do that a few months back. So I'm really not sure. It's mental, you don't really notice until you put them next to each other the difference. Okay, it's not on the floor, it's about half an inch off the floor, but you know, it's quite a difference, that. Quite a difference. But yeah, I mean, these are great tyres. I've got no complaints with the Michelins, but do I want to go full bore raw? I don't know. What I might do is get all these tyres. They've got some tread on them, but they're not the best. I might get all these taken off, get these ground back and painted up nice, and then see what my options are on tyres. And I'm really not sure why you have a different steering rack. I've just managed to pull off another part of the van there. So all that is foo-barred as well. And there's ready to go. Just please stop disintegrating on me.
There's a bit of pondering still to be done there, figuring out the pros and cons of both options, but for now there's more important things to be getting on with. And before I get onto those, I'd better sweep up that pile of my van.
Don't mind me. Got some brownies, and they all need eating today because they go off. Right then, new steering wheel and steering column, and yeah, we can just start to build the dash back up because this sort of blocks it. Get the basic system back in, so the ignition, the cluster, all the stuff that helps it talk and start. That then's all ready for when the engine goes in, and then we can quite early on see if this is panned out and see if the system comes alive. I hope so. Now this is possibly a 2 or 3 man job because I've got to get it down there. The wheels the wheels are not straight, so I'm gonna have to jack the van up real quick, straighten the wheels out, and then try and get this in there whilst getting that onto the steering rack and keeping the wheels straight. Right, let me just go and sort them wheels out and I'll be back with you. Okay then. Some more at the top. Get you through the hole. It'll turn the wheel and that will manoeuvre the bit I want to get round there. No? Okay, hang on. With a bit of... Go on, get through the grommet, don't pull it off. Don't pull it off. You little bastard. It's got to go down a fair way. Come on then. Come on now. Nowhere near. What are you playing at then? Come on. Swimming in steering wheels. You stay there. Stay.
Right then, so you're free. It just needs some lube. Lube lubrication, which I can provide. But applying that lube helped about as much as if I was doing this job with my feet.
Come on. You know when I said I'm not a mechanic? Thank God for that. Ow! Oh, Jesus! Oh, I'm done. I'm done. Come on, you little bastard. You are going on. How have you moved again?
Finally, the battle of the rack was over. I had prevailed, and the steering system was finished. During the process of all these pretty gnarly jobs, I was also taking on some little labour of love tasks that would make the cab a nicer place to be. After all, we spend a lot of time in there, so why not make it look a little bit less shit? Lance, on the other hand, was just being Lance, playing and getting in the way. But I let him off with not helping, you know, for his lack of opposable thumbs. He'd now sussed the yard out and become on-site guard dog, met everyone here, pissed on everything, and had found a hole in the fence to the field beyond. So he was pretty happy right now. The cab was building back up a lot quicker than I'd imagined, and was really homing in the fact that the back of this massive project was now broken. And that felt good, because this project had completely engulfed my life. Between doing this and editing the videos of this, I was not doing a lot else. This kept me busy all the time, and tired all the time.
Alright, start delaminating, have you? Bit of glue on you. Sort ye out. Oh, it's now 2 AM. I am exhausted. Most of this is now in. What I've done is I've cut the other, there's only like one panel of fuse box is here. So I can't even string words together at the minute, I'm so tired. Yeah, I'm trying to, wow. I've put the original fuse box back in. I just cut all the ends off. And then I'm going to use that as my auxiliary sort of thing. So I'm going to tap on, there's like a big bar that goes inside here. I'm going to tap onto that, make that live, and then I can use a secondary fuse box for example, the diesel here. The Talma unit, that needs 3 fuses for some reason. And all sorts of bits. So that's coming really handy, just to have off that loom. The most annoying thing I keep going to do and then realising I can't is going to just test on things. You can't, because there's no battery. So what I'm doing, I'm just getting the last of the electrics done and checked over. Make sure the earth studs are on, all that sort of shit. Electric windows, I've still got a little bit left to do on them, which I'm going to do now. And just get all this looking as it's supposed to before we go for the big switch on in a couple of days. Mechanically, there's still a lot going on over there, so I just want my head right in here. Oh yeah, you can stay. Right. Oh, this is dangerous. Leave you there. Hello. Yeah, baby boy. Oh, look at him.
I had hoped to get the engine fit into this video, but I honestly forgot how much of this project there is, so that will be next week. Thanks for watching everyone, I hope you're enjoying what's going on. I really appreciate all the comments, advice and support that's coming in right now. If you haven't already, do like and subscribe, maybe even share these videos with your mates. All that good stuff helps these videos get out there and in turn helps me get this thing done. But for now, I'll see you next time.
So fly